In 2021, I looked like this. Depressed, overweight, inflamed, just my hair is thinning. I mean, I look like I'm over it. I look like I've just given up on myself. I was settling in all aspects of my life, especially in my relationship at that time. I was in a relationship for 7 years at that time that was going absolutely nowhere. And then in 2022, I looked like this. I ended that relationship, started to really do a lot of internal work, and was approaching dating for the first time in a very long time with a new mindset. Hi, I'm Parker and welcome to House Momentum. Here I share my experiences not only living in Sweden, but I also share messages that empower the authentic self. Today's video is inspired by Valentine's Day, all the love in the air. A lot of us are dating. A lot of us are putting ourselves out there right now more than ever. And I wanted to make a video about just that, dating. Specifically dating like a queen or king. This video is going to be mostly directed towards the women because I'm a woman and I can only speak to what I know, but it can apply to anyone, just fill in the blanks. I get asked so many questions about what I did, how I approached life, how I approached my dating life before I met my fiance. I firmly believe that our dating journey really sets the stage for our relationships because you can meet your partner when you're dating. Duh. But even more so, how you approach dating really shows a lot about you and your authentic way of being. So in this video, I'm going to break down my personal playbook in the approach I took that led me to dating of the Most High and ultimately finding my amazing fiance. Everything I'm going to discuss in this video, I've put together in a free ebook and I have the link below. So this is information that I think should be applied to everyone, information that I think can help a lot of people, especially women, in their dating journey. So let's get into it. When we date, we tend to date with the mindset of pressure. And I'm here to tell you to date as play. Dating is not a test. Dating is not, did I say this right? Did I do this right? Do I look a certain way? Do they like me? Do they find me attractive? All this chatter that's going on while someone else is sitting across from you at a table, no, that sounds like an immense amount of pressure and not enjoying the process. You're not making the dating experience about you. And I'm not saying to date with this lens of a queen or king, like I'm above this person or I'm above other people. I am the snobby attitude or this cockiness about you. That is not what I'm saying at all. When you date like a king or a queen, you are dating with your level of divine, authentic essence shining through. Who are you? Are you showing up that way? So when we even approach this new mindset in dating, we have to pay attention to how we feel with the other person. Stop obsessing about what they could potentially be thinking and start focusing on your emotional state. We also cannot force connection. You cannot change who you are on a date. And I think we're all guilty of this, where we kind of want to fit and match someone else's energy just because we want relationship. We want it to work. We want something that works. We want something that clicks, but you cannot force it. That will only set you up for failure in a failed relationship in the months or weeks to come. And a big one, we have to let go of expectation. Every person that you date, you can't always ask yourself, oh, is this the one? Is this the person I'm gonna marry? It's date number one. Like, chill out and enjoy the process. Focus on just having a real good time and showing up as you are. Which leads me into dating apps. Because I think dating apps are really good when it comes to getting your feet wet, especially for me. Dating apps didn't exist when I was in my previous relationship. That was like 7 years of a relationship. Dating apps were like just starting to get popular, so I missed that whole boat when they first kind of launched. After that ended and I'm embarking on my dating journey, I'm like, shit, I gotta get on a freaking app to meet somebody now? Like, this sucks. And I have a love-hate relationship with it. Do some people find success? Yes. Do some people find it to be this rabbit hole of nowhere? Yeah. But I do think that the best dating app that you can have is the world, is the universe. You're already in it. You're uploaded in it. My profile is already uploaded into the quantum field, into whatever buzzword you want to use. I'm already here. My job is to simply show up in order to create those connections, to create those pathways, to meet someone who is of the most high for me. I, in turn, though, have to do my job and also show up as the highest version of myself. Be that. Embody that. Show who I am. And with dating apps, what I found to be really challenging was it almost forces you to be in conflict with this person you see on an app, their profile. You've created this persona just looking at them. You're creating this potential you see, and then when you meet them, it's a totally different person, and the entire time those two mindsets are conflicting. It's like, but I thought they were like this, but maybe they're like, maybe they can be this way. But it's so confusing because you're essentially meeting two different people, or you now have potential on one hand and reality on the other, and you don't know what to do with it. So just as a disclaimer, and not to knock dating apps, if you are using them, don't create a story about a person. Don't create a potential false narrative of who they actually are. You really have to focus on the person in front of you, because the person in front of you is the one that you're going to be in the relationship with, not the pictures. You're also going to meet a lot of different people in your dating journey. And this is not a bad thing. I think for me as well, I started to purposely try to date different types of people. I started to expand my box here as to, all right, let's not just focus on this. Let's really see what the entire catalog of the universe has to offer, right? So when I was dating, I found that I kept meeting with 3 types of people over and over again, and I kind of bucketed them in categories just to see, you know, is there some commonality here? Is there a pattern that I'm having? And what's the lesson that I'm learning? What are these people showing me and telling me about myself? And this, I think, is key when you're dating. So the first category of man that I encounter dating, I like to classify as Peter Pan or Tinkerbell. They are fun, they're flirty, you have a good time with them, they're confident, but they lack any emotional and intellectual depth. They seem to always be moving from one fun thing to the next. Nothing wrong with that, to each his own. They lack they avoid any conversations that are deep or anything emotional. They don't really have any long-term plans or long-term commitments outside of love or relationships. They probably don't even talk about long-term relationships, or just like, oh, I'm just going with the flow, blah, blah, blah. Fine, that's who they are. And they don't ask you anything deep. They don't ask you anything about yourself that really is personal. So the lesson with this person is, if you are looking for someone that wants a commitment, if you are looking for commitment, they're not for you. Do not get caught up in Peter Pan or Tinkerbell thinking that you can change this person. You can't. Accept this person for who they are, and then you decide if they align with what you want when it comes to a relationship. The second category is Mr. or Mrs. we've met before. The familiar person, the person who reminds you of someone from your past or an ex. They just seem all too comfortable and familiar, but not for the good reasons. It's almost like they are an old pattern that you've already encountered before. You quickly realize you've dated this type of person and it did not end well. So the lesson here is, am I repeating patterns of the past? Am I learning the lesson that I didn't learn before? Or did I learn that lesson before, and am I recognizing it now, and now I'm saying, no. Just because someone feels comfortable and easy, which is still a good quality to have, if those comfortable and easy emotions are being derived from old patterns, you're only going to repeat a previous relationship that did not work. You cannot redo the past. You can only learn from it. So be mindful if those patterns with this Mr. Familiar situation are these patterns going to lead me into growth, or are they going to keep me stagnant like I was before? The third category of man that I met I like to call Braveheart. Because this guy, you could just see he has so much potential. He could be such a badass, but he shrinks himself. He's kind, he's sweet, but he almost is holding back every time you're with him. And you in turn feel like you have to shrink as well. He's reserved, he's quiet, but it's almost like he has to get confidence from things outside of him in order for him to show confidence at all. The lesson here is, are you willing to shrink yourself for the sake of being in this person's presence? And not only that, are you willing to hold back who you are in a committed relationship with this person for God knows how long? This will only lead to resentment and your own personal depression. Because I've been there. If you can't be your true authentic self with another human being, it's just not going to work. Throughout this process, you will then cultivate your red flags and your green flags. Everybody has different standards of what they want. Yes, I think there are universal red flags and universal green flags that we all should be looking for when we want a committed relationship. But really, this comes down to you cultivating what that list is. I put a list together of universal red flags and green flags in the ebook below. That's free. They are a guide for you. But again, you do have to create your own list depending on what your own intentions are when it comes to dating. Bottom line, how you determine what your red flags and green flags are really comes down to how you want to feel when you are with this other person. I firmly believe that our bodies are a biological computer. Our emotions are like notifications. Are you paying attention to the notifications that are popping up and saying, oh, you know what? Yeah, I actually don't want that. I'm going to move this and bucket it under red. Oh, you know what? I like this notification. I like how this makes me feel. Bucket this under green. This is how we determine our unique and our own personal red and green flags. And a big thing here that kind of goes into what I was saying when it comes to dating apps is to stop dating potential and date what is. See people for who they actually are. See the person that is actually in front of you and determine if this is the person that you want to be with right now. Stop thinking, well, they could be a really good partner, or they could be someone I could see myself with if they work on X, Y, and Z, and maybe I can help them with that. Stop. The truth is, potential is not reality. If someone isn't showing up in the way that you want them to right now, they simply are not the person for you. This does not make them a bad person. This does not say anything negative about them. It's not personal, it's vibrational. It's all a matter of compatibility and matching in that moment. Don't get caught up and lost in what they could be 1, 2, 3 years from now, because that's only going to lead you into a relationship that is built only off of potential. It's not a relationship built on a solid foundation of knowing and trust and authenticity. So this is why dating with authenticity, with confidence is key. It is critical to having a relationship that is for your highest good. When you show up authentically, you're saying that you don't want to play games, that you are looking for a commitment. You say what you want and you mean what you say, and you're not afraid of it. And you are letting go of fear and rejection, because you know that if the person is not a match for you, it's not the end of the world. And it doesn't say anything about you being a bad person or a person who is less than. It's just simply not a match. So when you are in this dating process, in this dating journey, that you're having a good time, you're being playful, you're being fun, you're being you, but you're also speaking up honestly. You're not lowering your standards just to make it work. You're paying attention to how people treat you, not just what they say. And most importantly, you're trusting your intuition. Especially women, we are more emotional beings, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's the greatest gift and the greatest strength. We just know. We know when we want to move on. We know when we want to keep going. We know what's right for us, and we have to start trusting that intuition. So really, what it all comes down to is making dating work for you. It's not about finding the one. It's not about finding someone to complete you. It's about finding someone who complements who you are. When you start to date with this level of self-awareness and playfulness, dating becomes almost like a self-discovery journey. It becomes something so much bigger. It changes more than just your relationships. It changes how you approach life. It changes how you deal with relationships, in friendships, in work relationships. All of a sudden, you are elevating into almost who you are in this divine essence, into this queen or king energy that is radiant. And all the while knowing that as so long as you commit to yourself, the right person will appear. They will reveal themselves. They will come into your life. I firmly believe that we're alive on this planet not to settle. We're alive. We experience love. We experience pain and joy. We experience all these different emotions, but it's all a gift. It is all this huge gift. And so long as we know that we deserve what we want, we deserve what our true essence is calling for, especially in relationships, it will appear. You just have to also show up. This is a co-creation job. This is a two-party system. It's the world and it's you. And you have to show the world, the quantum field, the universe, fill in the blank. You have to show that you are ready for this. And by doing that is being authentically who you are. You cannot fake your frequency. You cannot fake who you are. Otherwise, you're only going to get more superficial, more fakeness, more hurdles, more challenges, more fake people. So long as you show up as you are, you will receive that. My favorite analogy is the mirror. A lot of us will look at our lives and we're sad and we're like, oh, I'm alone, or this, nothing works out for me. And we expect everything to miraculously change. Well, imagine a mirror in front of you. The only way you can see the mirror change, your world change, the only way you can see a smile is if you smile, is if you are glowing, is if you are committed. Once that occurs, all of a sudden, everything else will shift. And I know it's a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp and to believe in, but what's the harm in trying it? What is the harm? How badly do you want love? How badly do you want successful relationships? I mean, everyone always talks about abundance in terms of money and all that. I'm willing to bet that the top two things people want in life, yes, is financial stability, but love is on top. Real, solid, unconditional, authentic love. So get out there, enjoy yourself, be yourself, let go of the fear, let go of the rejection, and enjoy this journey, because it will lead to you finding a relationship that is worthy of any king or queen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Drop comments with any questions. Again, the free ebook is in the description. And whether it's for Valentine's Day or the month of February and beyond, I wish you all the best in your dating experience and journey. See you next time.